Agyantimirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaudachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha. I'm first of all offering millions and millions of Dandavat Pranams unto the lotus feet of my beloved Gurudev, Nityalila Pravishta Om, Asto Tadasara Shishimad, Srila Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Gosvami Maharaja. And I'm offering the same again, millions and millions of times, unto the lotus feet of our beloved Nityalila Pravishta Om, Asto Tadasara Shishimad, Srila Bhakti Vijnana Swami Srila Prabhupada. And on this most auspicious occasion, the Avirbhav of Srila Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Maharaj, I'm offering my Dandavat prostrated obeisances at his divine lotus feet. So I'll chant his pranam mantra, and I'd like to read the translation and go through it to some degree. So Sri Krishna Chaitanya Kripakavita Yamaryad Rakshita Vaishnavanam Kripavalam Madhavo Prishtakarmi Sri Bhaktidam Bharatim Ashrayama. This is his pranam mantra. So, and this translates as, I accept shelter at the lotus feet of the most revered Srimad Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Gosvami Maharaj, who treasures the mercy of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as his exclusive wealth. This is the mood of all our Gaudiya Acharyas, and Srila Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Maharaj is certainly a prominent personality in this illustrious line. Personally, for me, I associated with him, I took his shelter at the end of his life. After my Gurudev had departed in 2010, then I came to Srila Bharati Maharaj and met him in many different places, Delhi, Faridabad, Puri, Mayapur, many places, and even visited him when he was staying in Jammu Kashmir many years ago, when my Gurudev was already on the planet. But I was always touched by his mood and his humility, his deep humility, which was always apparent. It was tangible, palpable, his humility. He would come into the assemblies with my Gurudev, was giving his pravachan, and he'd sit very quietly on a chair because his legs weren't so good, and he would listen to all the various offerings and so on, and then he would be asked to speak, and would speak so beautifully and eloquently. His teachings are totally relishable and divine. So this pranam mantra is saying how he treasures the mercy of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as his exclusive wealth, who is the personification of following Vaishnava etiquette in its purest form. The personification of Vaishnava etiquette. He came from a very illustrious Brahmin family, and he had from birth imbibed the deep, beautiful qualities of Brahminical behavior. And the greatest gift I feel that he's given to this world is his glorification of the Vaishnavas. I'm sure this will be spoken about many times today in our offerings of Pushpanjali, but his constant telling us that without this glorification of the Vaishnavas on their appearance and disappearance days, it constitutes an offense if this is not followed carefully. So by his mercy alone, all of the different personalities that we celebrate in the 12 months of the year I'm personally diligently hearing about and speaking about whenever it's possible. Because these personalities, they have so much potency to imbibe in the practitioners. All of these different so many personalities I'd never even heard of before. Srila Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Maharaj, he introduced me, first of all, to Srila Bhakti Madhav Maharaj. I had never really listened or understood who this personality was. And then so many other stalwart Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati disciples and followers. He's given us this my beloved masters. And in there, it's described all of these different personalities, so many of them. And just tremendous inspiration that the devotees can get from hearing about these past luminaries in our line. He has really established this truth very prominently, this Vaishnava etiquette, never walking past any type of tithi, any type of holy day or appearance or disappearance day, always prominently glorifying those persons, whoever. Sometimes they would just be like we'd call a life member, something like that, some contributor of wealth to the temple and so on. And if Srila Bharati Maharaj had detected that they had sufficient bhakti, then he would glorify them so much. Jagat Bandhu, I think, is the name of one person that he glorifies very beautifully. And today, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he says clearly, he reasons ill who tells that Vaishnavas die when thou art living still in sound. The Vaishnavas die to live, and in living try to spread the holy name around. So Srila Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Maharaj really embodies this mood. Today, so many years after his departure in Mayapur, after his departure, still his teachings are so abundant for us because of his stalwart disciples in the Vishuddha Chaitanya Vani link, constantly sending us his Bhavanuvads, his lectures on all the different holy days, the different personalities. So we're getting a complete infusion today, and I'm always feeling that I'm very much in touch with Srila Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Maharaj. Through his teachings today, his mood, his personality is very much alive today. For me, even more so than it was previously during his pastimes, during his lifetime. I'm understanding and hearing so much more of his katha now and feeling so enlivened and enriched. When we first came to him after my Gurudev had departed in 2010, then we were bereft, and he was such a stalwart rock of Siddhanta. He was a walking Siddhantic compendium. Always he would have the absolute references. His memory was remarkable, absolutely remarkable. And he just was so erudite. He has so much knowledge about so many different things. But besides that, he was such a loving, kind, generous-hearted personality. He was shy. I felt he had a shyness which was also very attractive, but he wasn't demonstrative or anything of that nature, but such a kind-hearted, generous soul, giving and giving and giving. Even I heard from his shishyas that in his final pastime of leaving the body, he didn't want to cause his shishyas in Faridabad any further inconvenience. So on that consideration, he just decided to leave this world at that particular time. He didn't want to prolong his sickness pastimes. So his generosity, his kindness, his nurturing us when we most needed it. We would ask him many different types of questions. I remember when there was one devotee was having great difficulty, and we asked him, how should we feel about this person? This was a sannyasi. And the first thing Srila Bharati Maharaj asked us, does he feel remorse? Is he regretful for what he's done? He had transgressed the Vaishnava, the sannyas dharma. And that was the first question he asked. Without this remorse, without this mood of regret, then how can he possibly move forward himself? So comments like this, teachings like this, were very, very pertinent for us to hear from such a respected, stalwart personality. All the different mats in Vrindavan and in Navadvip had so much regard and respect for Srila Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Maharaj, because he would always support the different mats in different situations and circumstances. His Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Daita Madhav Maharaj, was very much, after Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati had left, very much supportive of all his god brothers. He would attend all their festivals. He would support them financially if that was if it was possible for him to do, and like that, fully supportive. And Srila Bharati Maharaj exemplified exactly the same mood. And if you meet today any direct disciples of Srila Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Maharaj, I always sense that they've grasped this essential teaching that Srila Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Maharaj has given, which is to serve the Vaishnavas. This service to the Vaishnavas is what he exemplified, no doubt. In his giving this beloved masters, etc., he's serving all these elevated personalities by bringing them their histories to the world in such a digestible manner. I would not have heard of those people otherwise. So I feel that Srila Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Maharaj is so much connecting us with each other in a mood of honoring and respecting the Vaishnavas in the world at large. So at this time and any time, this teaching is so much needed, especially now. So I just finished this translation of this beautiful pranam mantra. So it's saying, Vaishnava, who is the personification of following Vaishnava etiquette in its purest form. He himself, he once told us he'd never spoken a lie in his life. Never a lie in his life. Coming from such a Brahminic, he'd never eaten anything except Mahaprasad before he came to the temple. And of course he continued to do like that. But there were so many foundational realities about this personality that were powerful and could give such heart infusions to us. So it's saying that following Vaishnava etiquette in its purest form, who considers the boundless mercy of Sri Srimad Bhakti Daita Madhav Gosvami Maharaj as his life and soul, and always aspires to eternally remain his dearmost servitor. This was the nature of Srila Bhakti Vijnana Bharati. Anything his Gurudev requested, he would be there, available. He spent so long in Puri, in the temple there, just constructing. He did many constructions, work, services in his life, so many. And this is tedious in one sense, but still, if it was pleasing to his Gurudev, he would perform that task. So this remain his dearmost servitor, one who knows and fulfills the most cherished desires, manobhishta, of his beloved master, and who bestows bhakti, the topmost service, to Srimati Radhika as her maidservant, to one and all without discrimination. So this is such a monumental personality in our line. And I'm just amazed at how, in my own life and experience, all his teachings daily are becoming more and more prominent and alive for me. So it's continuing As I just said, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says Vaishnavas don't die, and it's due to the diligent, hard labor, service of his shishyas who are propagating his teachings so beautifully and so much needed in the world. These teachings are invaluable of relationships, etc. And honoring and respectful mood is so essential for this path of bhakti. And as Kali Yuga advances, then externally we see these qualities reducing everywhere. But in the Vaishnava communities, they must be increasing. That will give us our potency. So today I'm just expressing my utmost gratitude for being able to spend even a little time with this extraordinary personality and to walk beside him, to hear him speak. One time he said to me in Delhi, he said, my whole body has broken down. The only thing I have left for service is my tongue. And he was happily speaking daily in any circumstance or situation, even though his body was suffering tremendously. Still he would continue his seva to please his beloved Gurudev and the Vaishnavas, constantly considering the Vaishnavas' welfare and happiness. So today I'm offering this Pushpanjali in the hope of getting more mercy from Srila Pujapad Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Maharaj, and may he be pleased and bless me to always honor the Vaishnavas correctly, to follow this Vaishnava etiquette, this behavior, by understanding Shastric injunctions, etc., and following carefully in his footsteps. So this is my Pushpanjali for our beloved Srila Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Gosvami Maharaja Ki Jai. May he shower profusely his mercy on us all today, as he's doing constantly. My Dandavat pranams to everybody. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha, kripa sindhabhyavacha, patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavi namo.